Your pet might just be a spiritual being sent to guide humanity. Ever stop to think that deep gaze from your dog could be way more than just friendship? What if I told you these animals we love and call companions might be here not just to make our lives happier, but to help with a much bigger spiritual process involving humanity's collective awakening? This idea seems shocking, maybe even impossible, but it's closer to the truth than you imagine. If you've ever felt like your dog, cat, or other animal has an understanding that goes beyond the ordinary, pay attention, because this video could totally change your view and the relationship you have with them. Before we go on, if you want to dive deep into this mystical journey and understand how the animal world can be a key to your spiritual evolution, be sure to like this video, share your experience in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next content revealing surprising secrets about our bond with animals. Shall we go on this journey together? Edgar Cayce, known as the Sleeping Prophet, left an impressive legacy of prophecies and spiritual diagnoses that still intrigue scholars of the esoteric world. What few people know is that, among his detailed visions about the future of humanity, is the prediction of an awakening linked to animals, especially dogs. Cayce mentioned that animals are taking on a spiritual role in consolidating the collective awakening. For those who know his trajectory, they know he got countless contemporary prognoses right, like medical advancements and social changes, which lends credibility to this prophecy. His message said that animals are not just beings of nature, but active collaborators in the spiritual evolution of humans, acting as indirect guides in the process of self-knowledge and emotional healing. Imagine the impact of that. Wouldn't the dog by your side be an invisible partner in your inner journey? Plus, other spiritual traditions and ancient philosophies reinforce this idea, from shamanism to Brazilian spiritism, that recognize the protective and guiding role of animals in human lives. We're not talking about fantasy, but ancient wisdom that, little by little, is revealing itself to a growing number of people as they seek answers to the feeling of something bigger that many feel today. In the real world, we're seeing impressive phenomena happen day after day that corroborate this more spiritual view of animals. Dogs identifying diseases like cancer and diabetes, even before clinical results confirm them, are increasingly frequent reports. Scientists are studying these behaviors, but the logical explanation behind these abilities is still debated. Is it intuition? Some kind of sensory perception beyond what we know? Science hasn't exhausted all its hypotheses yet. Moreover, there are consistent records of animals predicting natural disasters like earthquakes and tsunamis, acting differently moments before the events occurred. These experiences prove that the animal's sixth sense isn't just myth, but a reality that challenges our traditional understanding of nature. We're surrounded by clear signs, but often we choose to ignore them or treat them as mere coincidence, when they could be true spiritual messages. On a more emotional level, people report that their animals seem to respond intuitively to their internal states, acting as true emotional healers, a silent comfort that transcends physical touch. This invisible but palpable bond demonstrates an energetic connection where dogs and other animals act as spiritual antennas, tuned into the human emotional frequency. But for those who want to go beyond the surface, there's an even deeper mystery involved in this relationship. Sensitive information, which not everyone is ready to understand, circulates within small communities of scholars, spiritualists, and people experiencing this animal awakening. It's as if there's a secret circle that holds the key to reaching higher levels of understanding about how animals and humans share a joint spiritual mission. If you feel an unsettling curiosity now, know that part of this knowledge is accessible to anyone willing to dig deeper, to seek with sincerity and humility. It's also an invitation to join a community dedicated to collective awakening, where reports, exchanges, and learnings become valuable tools for expanding consciousness. This touch of exclusivity and belonging isn't random. The idea is that this spiritual journey isn't for everyone, but for those who feel called to see beyond the obvious. In this context, understanding and experiencing the spiritual presence of animals can be a game changer in how we see life, death, and the purpose of our time in this world. and you're about to discover a path that can transform your perception, your heart, and your soul on levels that seemed unreachable until today. Imagine for a moment that simple dog by your side isn't just a loyal friend, but a spiritual collaborator, an invisible partner in your journey of inner growth. This is the essence of the central theory we're about to uncover. Animals, especially dogs, aren't just companions. They are facilitators of human awakening, aiding in the process of consciousness evolution in a subtle yet profound way. To understand this, we need to look at 3 stages of this so-called animal awakening. The first stage is emotional detection. Imagine an energetic radar that picks up the deepest emotions, fears, and desires that often we ourselves can't even perceive. Dogs are masters at this skill. They know when we're sad, anxious, or in pain, even without words or explicit signs. This keen perception isn't just an instinctive response, it's a spiritual sensitivity that allows the animal to connect with the subtle vibrations of our energetic field. Here they become the first to detect our imbalances, acting as emotional guardians. The second stage is telepathic communication. While for many this sounds like science fiction, reports from owners who feel a mental connection with their animals are countless. This communication goes beyond trained commands and includes feelings, intuitions, and even messages that seem to come from another dimension. Spiritual studies indicate that this is a universal language of the soul, an energetic language that allows the exchange of information without using words. Dogs, from this perspective, act as transmitters of spiritual signals, capable of alerting, comforting, and guiding their humans when necessary. The third stage is energetic cleansing. Think about the feeling you get when you hug your dog after a tough day, that peace that floods your body and mind. This isn't just by chance. Animals have a natural ability to absorb and filter negative energies, acting as a kind of spiritual purifier. They cleanse our energetic field while they're with us, helping us eliminate emotional blockages and making space for renewal and balance. This function is vital for anyone seeking awakening, as it enables the inner alignment that sustains the transformation of consciousness. Understanding these 3 stages opens up immense horizons about how animals are an active part of the human spiritual process, and not just mere co-stars in a friendship story. They participate in the invisible plot that connects all beings in a dance of evolution and healing. Therefore, our gaze toward them should be much more than superficial. It should be a look of recognition and gratitude for the sacred service they invisibly provide. Now let's step into the realm of stories that touch the heart and awaken the mind to the deepest mystery of coexistence between humans and animals. Allow yourself to imagine the scene. An elderly woman is about to suffer a stroke, and her dog seems to sense something. He insists on pulling her, barking loudly for a neighbor to come in and get help. Thanks to this alert, she was saved in time. This is a real example among countless others that tell us about dogs' ability to act as protectors and guides. Or think of a family suffering the sudden loss of a loved one. The dog, previously cheerful and active, changes its behavior, isolates itself, and seems to carry the grief. Later, researchers studied these cases and suggested that dogs are aware of the cycle of life and death, acting as spiritual guardians who respect this transition. In another moving narrative, during a natural disaster, several animals abandoned their usual routines and fled to safe areas, alerting nearby communities about the imminent danger. It's stories like these that connect us deeply, because they show us how much the animal presence transcends the physical and touches the spiritual. These accounts create an invisible network of experiences that, together, create emotional impact and a sense of mystery that's not easy to ignore. They invite us to look at the unexpected and the inexplicable with more open eyes, and above all, with a more receptive heart. It's in this dimension that the bond between human and animal transforms into a two-way street where both enrich and evolve together in an alliance that can be transformative for humanity. You might be thinking, this is all very nice, but isn't it just imagination or an emotional bias? This kind of questioning is crucial, and it's precisely what leads us to confront the traditional scientific view of the phenomena we've mentioned. Science, based on concrete evidence and rigorous tests, still struggles to explain many of the abilities and behaviors that animals demonstrate. For example, how do you scientifically explain dogs' early perception of natural disasters, or their ability to detect diseases before medical exams? Although research is ongoing, there's still no definitive conclusion. Science often limits its field to what can be measured and reproduced in a laboratory, and this leaves out subtle and energetic aspects of reality. Furthermore, traditional paradigms are based on categorical separations between species, disregarding spiritual and energetic interconnectedness. And when we try to explain the deep emotional bond between humans and animals, science usually reduces these phenomena to hormones and chemical responses, ignoring the dimension of meaning, purpose, and consciousness that goes far beyond mere physical reaction. Therefore, the invitation here is to open a window to the unknown, challenge the natural skeptical gaze, and consider that there are dimensions beyond those described by conventional science. It's allowing yourself to question the obvious and recognize that subjective experience, stories, and reports can be legitimate sources for understanding the complexity of this connection. After all, not everything that exists can be explained with the methods we currently have. Perhaps there's a universe of possibilities just waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to see differently. Let's now explore something that surely touches the heart of anyone with an animal by their side: the emotional connection that goes far beyond the physical. Have you ever felt that your dog or cat seems to understand your anxieties, your existential doubts, or even your search for meaning in life? That feeling isn't a coincidence. Many spiritual traditions point out that animals share a soul connection with humans, something so profound that it transcends time and space. The idea that souls can make pacts before we incarnate to meet in this dimension is ancient and present in various cultures. Thus, the animal living with you today could be a spiritual companion chosen to help you with specific missions, such as facing traumas, learning to love unconditionally, or developing the courage to follow a new path. This perspective explains why many people experience overwhelming grief when losing a beloved animal, because it's not just a physical bond that breaks, but a deep and sacred link between spirits. In Spiritism, for example, animals are seen as beings with souls and involved in their own evolutionary process. They participate in the wheel of reincarnation, and their coexistence with us can have purposes of mutual learning. This provides a deeper understanding of the grief, care, and respect we should have for them, because they are truly our brothers on a spiritual journey. This connection also manifests in the emotional impact that grieving for an animal can bring. For many, losing a dog or cat is losing a piece of their own soul. The feeling of emptiness and the difficulty of accepting this absence reflect the importance of recognizing that these bonds go beyond simple companionship. They are spiritual ties that challenge the traditional concept of life and death. This universal experience that thousands of people share reinforces that animals help us understand our own vulnerability, our love, and our capacity to feel, grow, and above all, awaken to something greater. Given everything we've seen so far, you might be asking yourself, how can I participate in this awakening process, this broader transformation where humans and animals walk together? The answer lies in the attention and conscious presence we cultivate in our daily lives. By paying attention to the signs that the animals around you offer, you begin to realize that every behavior, every look, every reaction is loaded with meaning. They are not just reacting to the physical environment, but giving subtle messages for you to awaken to your own inner truth. This process requires humility, recognizing that we don't know everything, that there's something bigger guiding us, and on this path, animals are our precious allies. Reciprocity is another fundamental point. It's not just about receiving the love and protection they offer, but about returning that energy with genuine care and deep respect. In spiritual practices, recognizing this clear exchange energizes the relationship, making it an open channel for mutual growth. Food, physical care, yes, but primarily being present in body, mind, and soul, connected to the vibrational essence of your animal, opens doors to real and transformative communication. Practicing conscious presence is key. By observing your connection carefully, you can sense the exact moment your dog wants to alert you to something, when they need comfort, or when they are sharing their state of being. This synchronicity allows the relationship to transcend routine and become a true exchange of energies and evolutionary learnings. This way of living is a gateway for those who wish to actively participate in the spiritual mission that unites humans and animals on the journey of awakening. To conclude, reflect with me on the immense power that this collective transformation can represent for our world. We are living in a unique time where humanity's spiritual awakening is becoming increasingly urgent. On this journey, animals, especially dogs, are not passive spectators, but true collaborators, guardians, and guides. They accompany us with loyalty and wisdom, helping to illuminate paths that often seem dark and insecure. By understanding this shared mission, we are invited to see our role not as owners or proprietors, but as conscious agents of this sacred alliance. Every small gesture of love, every moment of deep listening, every instant of care for our four-legged friends is a step towards the expansion of collective consciousness. This transformation is not only spiritual, but also social, a movement that can redefine how we relate to life in its broadest sense. Now I want to make you a sincere invitation. Leave your experience with animals that have transformed your life in the comments. Share a story that touched you or a feeling you could never explain. Like this video so more people can learn about this vision, and subscribe to the channel to be part of this community that seeks, through love and connection, to awaken to a more conscious future. Because after all, when humans and animals awaken together, the whole world rises together. If you believe this journey is important, that the spiritual connection with animals can be a key to our evolution, don't stop here. Seek information, listen to your heart, and allow yourself to feel the mystery, magic, and depth that this relationship can bring. The signs are there, vibrating with every bark, every glance, waiting for you to open yourself to a new understanding and perhaps to the mission of a lifetime.